Today's topic is acids, bases and salts. So I welcome you to this session of my teaching. That is, we will discuss the topic acids, bases and salts. So this is acids, bases and salts. Now to the definition of acids. What is an acid and what is a base and what is a salt? What is an acid? Now, before going to the definition, let me make two groups of substances. Suppose now, these are a group of substances. These are a group of substances. What is common between these four? What is common between these four? And what is common between these four? I hope you will be clear. There is hydrogen, here also hydrogen, here also hydrogen, here also hydrogen. This group of compounds are called acids. This is hydrochloric acid, this is hydrobromic acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. These all contain hydrogen or H plus ions. On dissociation, if I put it in water, this in water will give H plus and Cl minus. Similarly, this compound will give H plus and Br minus. This compound will give H plus and NO3 minus. Similarly, this compound will give H plus, SO4 2 minus. In all these isotopes, this is H plus, H plus, H plus, H plus. So these are a group of compounds which on dissociation give H plus ions. So these are called acids. So I can say acids are substances which on dissociation or in solution produce H plus ions. Similarly, what do these four have in common? Here we have OH, here also, here also, here also. These are OH minus ions. These substances in dissociation in water will produce OH minus ions. NaOH on dissociation will give Na plus and OH minus. Similarly, calcium will give Ca2 plus OH minus, so 2OH minus. Magnesium also same, Mg2 plus and 2OH minus. Calcium will give K plus OH minus. Here we see OH minus ions. So these all in dissociation, on dissociation or in solution produce OH minus ions. Such compounds are called bases. Such compounds are called bases. So I can say bases are substances or compounds which on dissociation or in solution produce OH minus ions. This theory was given by Arrhenius in the year 1884. So this is called Arrhenius concept of acid-base theory, which states that acids are substances which on dissociation produce H plus ions. Bases are substances which on dissociation or in solution produce OH minus ions, and in neutralization reaction or during neutralization this H plus ion of acid reacts or combines with OH minus ion of base and produce water. For example, suppose this H plus combines with OH minus of and produce water. Right? Suppose HCl plus NaOH. It gives this HCl, H plus of HCl reacts with or combines with OH minus and gives H2O and NaCl. Okay. Now, this theory was given by Arrhenius, so this is called Arrhenius acid-base concept or acid-base theory. There are other theories also. One of them is a Bronsted-Lowry theory. Bronsted-Lowry theory states that acids are proton donors and bases are proton acceptors. What is a proton? As we know, suppose in solution, suppose this the hydrogen atom. We all know hydrogen atom has one electron and one proton. When this hydrogen atom gives its electron, it becomes, suppose H. It is hydrogen. It has one electron, one proton. If it gives its electron, it becomes H plus. This is proton. This is the proton. Okay. So this Bronsted-Lowry theory states that acids are proton donors and bases are proton acceptors. Now, Arrhenius concept and Bronsted-Lowry theory, there is not much difference, but Arrhenius concept had a little limitation. What is that limitation? Let me explain. Suppose we say NH3 or you say HCl plus NaOH gives NaCl plus H2O. Similarly, this HCl plus NH3 gives NH4Cl. Now, see, HCl has H plus and Cl minus. This, since it has an H plus, so this is an acid. It's react with a base, gives salt and water. This is also acid and this is a salt. Since this acid reacts and produces salt, so this must be a base. This must be a base, that is ammonia is a base, but ammonia doesn't have OH minus ion. Ammonia doesn't have OH minus ion. So how ammonia can be a base? This was given by Bronsted-Lowry. He stated that those which donate H plus are called acids and which accept H plus. Now, since HCl has H plus, this H plus is given to NH3. NH3 accepts this H plus and becomes NH4 and the Cl is that. Since it accepted the H plus or proton, it is a proton acceptor, hence ammonia is a base. Okay, so this is Bronsted-Lowry theory, which states that acids are proton donors and bases are proton acceptors. There is another theory also which is called Lewis theory. It states that acids are electron acceptors and bases are electron donors. Okay, Lewis theory states that acids are electron acceptors and bases are electron donors. So we saw about the definition of acids and bases. Now, how can we identify whether the given substance or given sample is an acid or a base. Okay. How can we identify whether the given sample is an acid or a base? You will say that, suppose we have been given with a sample. There is a liquid. Now you are asked to tell us whether it is an acid or a base. You will say that we will taste it. If it is sour in taste, this is an acid. But mind it, we are not sure if it is a strong acid or if it is a concentrated acid. You are sure to get hurt. Testing it might be dangerous. Then, now if we touch it, we will say that we will touch it. If it is soapy to touch, we will say that it is a base. Again, bases are corrosive. If it is a strong base, if we touch it, it will affect our finger. It will affect our skin. Then how can we know whether the given substance is an acid or a base? Yes, there are chemicals which will tell us whether the given substance is an acid or a base. Such substances, such chemicals are called indicators or acid-base indicators. Okay, so indicators. We have indicators. Indicators are chemical substances which helps us identify whether a given substance is an acid or a base. These indicators are of two types. One is your natural indicator. Natural indicator. Natural as the name suggests, obtained from nature, obtained from plant sources or animal sources. So natural indicators are obtained from plant sources. Examples of natural indicators, one is our litmus. It's a natural indicator. Then turmeric. It's a natural indicator. Then your red cabbage. It's a natural indicator. These three are examples of natural indicators. Litmus. It is obtained from a plant called lichen. From lichen plant it is obtained. Naturally it is purple in color. It is purple in color. So it is made blue and red. So we have blue litmus and red litmus. I had told you, suppose we have given a solution in a beaker. There is a solution like this. There is a solution to taste it. Now, if it is, we are given a blue litmus. If we touch it with a blue litmus, if it changes to red, I can know that this is an acid. So I can write acids change blue litmus to red. Acids change blue litmus to red and red litmus to blue? No. It doesn't have any effect on red litmus. They change blue litmus to red. That doesn't mean they will change red litmus to blue. So acids changes blue litmus to red. Suppose I put the blue litmus. It did not have any color. Then I shall get a red litmus and test it. If it changes to blue, it is a base. And bases change red litmus to blue. Bases change red litmus to blue. So litmus. Turmeric. Haldi. Turmeric is a natural indicator. Now turmeric, suppose you are eating, while eating, accidentally the curry falls over your dress, your white shirt, it falls over your shirt. Turmeric yellow in color, it gives a yellow spot. What do? Coming home, we rub it with soap. What happens? What is the change in color? Whenever we rubbed it with soap, that yellow color changes to red. What does it indicate? That means The substance which we rubbed it with, that is a base. So turmeric showed that soap is base in nature. That is why it changed from yellow to red. Now you keep on, whenever we wash it again with water, it changes to again that yellow color, because the soap, the effect of soap, or the basic effect got neutralized, got washed away. That so turmeric helped us test whether soap is a base. So this is also a natural indicator. Same with red cabbage. Red cabbage, it becomes in base, it gives a green color. Okay, and red in acid. So red cabbage is also a natural indicator which gives, if it is a base, it gives your green color. Okay, now we have some synthetic indicators. Synthetic indicators. In synthetic indicators, we have your methyl orange. And phenolphthalein. Methyl orange and phenolphthalein are two synthetic indicators. Now methyl orange in acid, methyl orange in acid, it gives a red in color, and in base it gives a yellow in color. You can remember it sentence like my apple is red. My methyl orange, acid, red. So methyl orange in acid gives red in color, and my banana is yellow. So again, methyl orange, B, base, gives yellow in color. Okay, so methyl orange, such colors obtained. Phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein in acid, it becomes phenolphthalein in acid, it gives a colorless. In base, it gives a pink color. Okay, phenolphthalein is again a synthetic. Synthetic indicator means obtained chemically. So phenolphthalein in acid, it gives colorless, whereas in base it becomes pink in color. Now, besides these two indicators, there is another group of indicators which are known as olfactory indicators. These are known as olfactory indicators. Besides these natural and synthetic indicators, there are olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators. Now, the indicators we discussed, natural and synthetic indicators, these depend on change of color. But this olfactory, this olfactory means something related to smell. So olfactory indicators depend on smell. Examples of olfactory indicators, we have onion, then we have your vanilla extract, vanilla. Okay, we have clove. So onion, suppose chopped onion, we wrap in a cloth, we wrap some chopped onion, keep it for one day. Next day, suppose we want to test whether the given substance is an acid or base. To that cloth in which there is chopped onion, we will put a sample. We will put a drop of that. Now chopped onion has a characteristic smell. If it retains its smell, that means the smell doesn't change. Then we can say it is an acid. Characteristic smell means onion. We have a different smell. We can, if someone has eaten onion, we can say yes, you have taken onion because it has a smell. So if it retains its smell, we say that it is acid. If the smell gets vanished, we say that it is a base. Same with vanilla extract also. If it retains its smell, a fruity smell, we say that it is acid. If it doesn't retain or the smell gets vanished, we say that it is a base. Clove also like that. So today we discussed acids, definition of acids and definition of bases. Then indicators. How can we identify whether a given sample is an acid or a base? In the next class, we will discuss the properties of acids and bases. That's all for today. Next class, we will discuss properties of acids and bases.